Welcome back into Ben Talks Utah Hockey. Today's episode is going to be a game preview of the upcoming matchup between Utah and San Jose. Utah's coming in at 13, 11, and 5. They've got 31 points. And San Jose is coming in with an 11, 16, and 5 record for 27 points. Um, a lot of people thought that the Sharks were just going to have kind of a really terrible year with the start they got off to, similar to last year. But they've kind of proven people wrong and got off to not a great start, but they've kind of had this midseason push. They're not obviously. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but they're showing some signs of life this year that I think most people thought wasn't going to be for another couple years. So, be an interesting matchup here. I've got a few keys to the game, some players to watch, and a couple little extra things that I do want to talk about towards the end of this show. Um, so, to start it off, players to watch for the Sharks. Number one for me would be Georgiev. Does he play in the net this game against Utah? He did just get traded to San Jose from the Colorado Avalanche for Mackenzie Blackwood and some picks. So it'll be interesting to see how Georgiev plays if he does play against Utah tomorrow evening on December 14th. So that'll be my first player to watch for the Sharks. Second one, obviously, is going to be Macklin Celebrini. He got 3 points in the win over the Blues last night, and he's for an 18-year-old kid. He's playing really well. Um, he's got 10 goals, 9 assists for 19 points, and I mean, kid's just he's fitting right in with the NHL and the level of play. Next one to be watched on the Sharks is Mikael Granlund. Granlund has gone 10 goals, 21 assists for 31 points in this campaign, and he's really been a good offensive presence for the Sharks and a bit of a veteran presence as well. So it'll be interesting to see if their top scorers can put the puck in the net against Utah, and hopefully not. Hopefully we keep getting solid goaltending from the Utah goalies, but tomorrow night it remains to be seen. Some players to watch for Utah. Gonna throw in that second line for Utah. Gunther, 3 points in the last game. He's got 12 goals, 16 assists for. Ooh, that's not right. I wrote that down wrong. uh, 12 goals, 16 assists for 28 points. I wrote down 21 points. He's got 28 points. He's the team leader, just ahead of Keller with 26. And then Logan Cooley is another one to watch. 2 points in the last game, 2 assists. But he does have 12 points in the last 7 games. Cooley is sitting at 7 goals, 17 assists for 24 points. So I think that second line is going to be fun to watch throughout the rest of the year, but really one to watch on a night by night basis just to see if they can remain hot with their points. They have been putting up a decent amount of points in the last few games, and so it'll be interesting to see what they can continue to do. Um, some more players to watch. I'm going to call out Utah's third line. Lawson Krause, Matthias Michelli, and Nick Bugstad. Can they get it going tomorrow night? I think, they're a line that Andre Tourny has put out there to try to put pressure on other top lines, and I'd really like to see them get some offense going. I'm sure Lawson Krause has been a little frustrated with just how little offense he's been able to produce. Same with Matthias Michelli. Last year Matthias had a decent year, but I think this year has been this year. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. Um, this year, Michelli, he hasn't really produced to what I think what's been expected of him. So we'll see how the season goes and progresses, but I think it'll be really interesting to see also if they can pressure the puck, create offensive chances, and keep being a physical presence. If they do anything, they need to keep a physical aspect of their game going on that third line. So those are just a couple of players to watch for tomorrow night, just to see what we can get going and who can keep staying hot on their point streaks. So I got a couple of keys to the game. Um, First one would be what I would like to see would be finishing checks and taking away space from the speedy Sharks. Sharks, just like Utah, their game, they play with a lot of speed. And so I think it's going to be matching on the forecheck, matching speed, and honestly finishing checks. It'd be one thing I'd really like to see. I feel like we get out hit every single game, which in one hand is not terrible because that means we have the puck more, but we have possession of the puck more. But on the other hand, I think teams kind of bully us around a little bit. We do have some undersized forwards, and I think they get bullied around a little bit. That's one thing I noticed throughout the year. Another key would be to keep shooting the puck. Good things happen when you shoot the puck and go to the net and you get traffic and bodies in front of the net. We saw it in the last game versus the Avalanche. Couple of goals that hit off Avalanche players' sticks or skates and go in the net. Good things happen. It doesn't even necessarily need to be from high scoring areas or in the slot, but just getting pucks on the net. And I think there have been a few players that have done that well this season. Kesselring, Ian Cole, Sergachev, um, some of those defensemen getting pucks to the net and planting forwards in front of the net. And I just think that's a huge key to the game. Um, and next one would be neutral zone pressure, and keeping on getting pucks deep into the zone and creating offensive zone face-offs. The longer you make the Sharks play defense against you, the more you're going to be able to expose weaknesses and holes in their game. So I just think, keeping on that forecheck in the neutral zone, shutting them down when they're trying to enter the zone, and keeping them away from odd man rushes against your defense. So I think those will be important things. One more thing for my keys to the game, and this has been a theme I think all year. Um, I know, I'm sure Andre Turney talks about it, and I'm sure the guys know it. You got to stay out of the box. Um, got to stay out of the box. You got to capitalize you do get when you do draw a penalty. You got to capitalize on the power play, and on the other hand, you got to stay out of the box. San Jose in the last 3 games has had 35 penalty minutes. So if they're averaging a little over 10 minutes of penalty minutes in the last 3 games, so that could create some chances. If Utah, if they draw 4 penalties tomorrow night, Utah's got to go 2 out of 4 on those, and keep their power play percentage up, because when a team gives you chances, that's part of putting teams away is when they give you chances, do you capitalize? And I think capitalizing on the power play when you have the chance, it's one of the main keys to the game tomorrow night. Um, so that being said, I just want to get into a couple extra things that I've been thinking about. First one would be Liam O'Brien, spicy tuna. Uh, we saw him. He's only played 3 games this year, and in the early part of the season, and he has not been able to crack back into the lineup. Um, he has 0 points in those 3 games with 5 penalty minutes, and he's been being used in a lot of Utah's promotional material, and it's really interesting because I think he initially, when before the season started, like there was a big hype around Liam O'Brien and kind of what he brings to the team. He's a big energy guy. He's not going to score you a ton of goals. He's not going to assist a bunch, but what he brings to the team is energy, physicality, and he does go to the dirty areas when you need him to. And so I just think it'd be interesting to see if and when he ever cracks the lineup again this year. I think they've got their line set pretty well, especially on that fourth line with Carcone, Stenlund, and Kerfoot. I do think that's a solid line, and they have been producing points as of late. And so I think Andre Turney is going to just kind of ride with that on the fourth line until something happens, or otherwise gives him a reason to switch it up. I think it's between him and Carcone to kind of crack that last forward slot. And right now, Carcone has been providing a lot of pressure and offense. He had a goal in one of the last couple of games, and he plays with a lot of speed, and he does forecheck well. So I think leaving him in the lineup, I do think it's between him and Carcone, Liam O'Brien and Carcone, and so it'll just be interesting to see as the season goes along. Does Liam O'Brien crack the roster? Does he get to play? Um, it's just been a I know it's probably on a lot of other people's minds, especially people that are new to hockey and new to the Utah Hockey Club experience. Um, why haven't I seen Liam O'Brien? I think has been a question on a lot of people's minds. So you see him in post game and off the ice in a suit, and you just kind of go, man, I do wish he'd get into the lineup one of these nights because I think he could provide some of the spark. But I think maybe later in the season we may see him. Um, that's just my opinion, my thought on it, but just an interesting little extra that I thought I'd talk about here tonight before we go into the San Jose game tomorrow. One more little extra thing, a little stat that I've looked at here in my notes, and when Utah scores first, they're 10-3-4, so 10-7. And when opponents score first, they're 3-8-1. So 0-4 in 1 goal games this season. So that's got, and honestly, that's got to be one more key to tomorrow night's matchup is getting on the board first early, and just shutting them down, not letting the Sharks put any pressure back on our goalies and on our defense. So um, yeah, that's just one last thing, one little extra. Keep winning the Western Conference games that we have. All of the Western Conference, all the Central Division games are huge. This is a Central versus Pacific matchup, but regardless, it's in the Western Conference and it matters. So I think that'll be huge. Coming into tomorrow night is, can we get out and get on them early and put up some points early? Stay out of the box, score, keep getting pucks to the net, and yeah, good things will happen. But anyway, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up this little pregame episode. I appreciate you guys listening. And yeah, this is Ben Talks Utah Hockey, and we'll see you on the next one.